Recently I made a very short video. It was a week before Mother's Day, and I talked about the untalkaboutable of being an invisible mother. Can you imagine what that might be, to be an invisible mother? Let's talk about that a little bit and what makes it untalkaboutable.
For the last year, this strange dead end or curve in the road has been something of an obsession for me. I don't know exactly why.
This is how it feels to be an invisible mom. You don't know exactly where to go next. Sometimes the road signs are confusing. Can't even really explain where you've been because you haven't gotten where you expected to go, and it certainly does not feel like the cards are stacked in your favor. And so we are stuck kind of in this purgatory, going back and forth and back and forth. Sometimes we pretend it doesn't hurt, but most of the time it really, really does hurt, I mean. For me, I became an invisible mother after my daughter was born because she died at birth. So while I very much felt like a mother who was missing her child, to the rest of the world, I just looked like another woman who had been married for a while, just never had children. This made it very painful for me. It made it difficult in many different ways. And also something that, while I like to talk about it, I like to talk about my daughter, a lot of people didn't know how to address me in regards to her. They didn't know whether they should call her by name or not. And so they did one of two things. They either just didn't talk about her, or they stopped talking to me at all. They stopped talking to me at all. Now, while you might not have any experience with being an invisible mother, my guess is you have had some experience with situations that were untalkaboutable. So I'm going to share a writing prompt with you next. And you may write it down or just remember it, hold it in your heart. But I suggest that you do take it to heart. Meditate or write or create. Let it start the conversation you have with yourself about what is untalkaboutable in your life. And if you have an invisible mother that you know, someone who has had a stillbirth, someone whose child maybe died later in life, or someone who has had their custody of their children taken away. Like I said, there's all different ways that one may be an invisible mother. Think about those invisible mothers in your life and perhaps spend some time thinking, talking, writing, art journaling about how your relationship to them and to not talking about these things has made a difference, and what would benefit from seeing a shift in that area. Thank you so much for watching. This is Julie Jordan Scott. Please take a moment to subscribe or watch the playlist or suggest us to someone else who really needs to talk about being an invisible mom. She will be grateful to you. She will.